Finally, hey, you two. Let me ask you a question. If you had a choice of colors, boom, 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 which one would you choose, my brother? If there was no day or night, boom, 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 which would you prefer to be right? Dun, dun, dun. Now, I know that you hated your white teacher. Who told you to love your black preacher? People, y'all won't believe how long it's taken me to get live, honey. I don't know why this Wi-Fi would not let me on this morning. So I see the people talking about colorism. I don't know why, but let's try to talk about it a little bit. First of all, I might have to cut out like real suddenly on this live because yesterday morning, yesterday morning, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning with this sound. It sounded like rain was coming into my apartment. It was actually there was water coming out of the sprinkler system like a faucet onto the floor. So it must have woke me up immediately because the floor wasn't very wet. So I put a bucket under the thing. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and went back to bed. All right, thank you, Talks with Tara. Bless you for the super chat. But so I put a bucket under there and went back to bed. After a few minutes, it stopped, right? No, that was I think 3:10 in the morning. At 4 in the morning, the manager comes knocking on my door, right? The lady says that the apartments beneath me was flooding with water. I said, well, the lady was up here earlier asking me, and I checked my apartment. It was fine at about 9 o'clock. But now the water had come down to the ceiling less than an hour ago. It's pouring like a faucet. And so she said, okay, we'll have the plumber here in the morning. This building, they act real quick. Anytime you have a complaint, they act real quick on it, right? Because the last thing you want is water flowing all through the insides of the apartments, right? Because you will cause mold, and plus you could ruin a lot of people's stuff. Anyway, then when I wake up, an hour after I wake up, the fire alarm goes off. Now they told us 2 weeks ago that this was going to happen on this particular day, right? But unfortunately, my dog cannot handle the sound. I can barely handle the sound myself. So we have to gather ourselves and leave the apartment. And it took a long time because this complex has 90-something units in it, right? And so I walk him around until I can't take it no more, girl. I'm sitting out in front of the building now, and the damn fire alarms thing is still, they do this about every other month. Okay, so then we finally get back in the apartment. Guess what? When I come into the apartment, my whole ceiling in my bathroom has been torn out. Apparently, these plumber people, who I told you they move very quickly, have been working all through the time that they were doing the fire alarm. So now I have no ceiling in my bathroom, right? Then they come in and workers are here for hours and hours and hours, changing all the piping in the goddamn walls. Then they got to put these big machines in there, which they're in there right now, with this loud noise to dry out the entire inside. They put your holes in. Some of y'all been through this. Not only to take your ceiling out, they put holes all in your walls so they can get all the moisture out. They got 2 huge machines in there. So this has been my struggle. So if them people knock on the door to do their work, we're certainly going to let them in. They tell me that I have to let this thing dry now for 4 days. They're not even going to patch it up until Monday. But today they got to come in and they got to fill the bathtub up with water and all that. Make sure there's no leaks anywhere. They didn't have to put the apartment on top of me, my apartment, below me, and below me. Every apartment in this line has got to be repaired. That's been my struggle. Then I get on this damn thing and it acts for food. How y'all this morning? Complain. That's Timothy. Hi, Princess A. Egyptian goddess, my moderator, and Tashana. Hi, y'all. Queen of Hearts. Who is this lovely darling here? Thank you, Tarja. Bontrail for the good luck. Thank you, Tarja. Now, when Jay Wilson water go out, he gonna come on here and show you the bill, girl. Here's how much the water is. Here's how much the water bill is. And the fool go sit up there and pay it. Girl, you should have bought no house. You don't want to fix nothing. Anyway. Queen of Hearts. WMHF. I've never seen you here before. So the people, hi, Alfreda Gross. Introverted, extrovert. Oh. Pastor Gone Bonkers. How you doing, Pastor Gone Bonkers? That boy lost his mind. Y'all say he didn't come on at all yesterday. I guess he finally decided he couldn't win. You can't win. Tomorrow's gonna be the same. How long y'all think he can stay away? A whole day? He's already broken a record. Anyway. Who else in here? Ken. Brittany. Okay. Good morning, everybody. The girls are over here talking about colorism. I like to stay out of women's business when I feel like it's just a girl thing, but colorism is, it's always been a part of the Black experience. It was kind of sad to see it going on over here in the beef sector, so I want to talk about it a little bit. So apparently, Brianna feels like I'm not an enemy of Brianna or anything like that. She could pop on here in any moment. But we want to try to discuss this thing. Brianna feels like this lady, V. Lenore, coming on, and in the beginning of her video, she tears up some, right? And Brianna says that this is her using her light-skinned privilege because she cried. In other words, Brianna's saying that a dark-skinned woman can't cry. Don't cry. He's not dead. People, your ladies, your women cry, honey. So if this is a woman who's prone to a little extra emotion, she gets emotional or she gets her feelings hurt, it's just part of being a woman, I think. Some people are more sensitive. Some men cry. Who was that dude they had in there? Bonner. Remember him? Was his name Bonner? He was a senator. He was the head of the Republican Party as far as the Senate. And every time he came on there, girl, he talked about anything, he start crying. He can't help it. It's who he is. We have to accept people for who they are, honey. So I don't think that girl, V. Lenore, got away with crying because she's light-skinned. That's stupid. That don't make no damn sense, child. I guess I'm fortunate in as much as we have people in all hues in our family. It's never been an issue for me. My mother is very light-skinned. I have two sisters. One is almost as light as V. Lenore, and the other one is a dark-skinned woman who is very beautiful, right? You can be any color and be beautiful, honey. All this struggle, that's why we have such a hard time ever progressing, because people are so jealous of each other. Now, let me say this. I believe that this woman, I don't know if V. Lenore has ever been on my channel or anything. I assume she has at some point. I don't know anything about that woman. But yesterday when I spoke, or the day before yesterday, I said, that's a beautiful, I had stopped in the middle of what I was talking about. I said, that's a beautiful woman. Now, she could have been a dark-skinned woman and still been a beautiful woman. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Whatever it takes to be beautiful, honey, aesthetically beautiful. Like some people, that's the way they're born, honey. They can be models, they can be actresses, they can do all kinds of different things that some people can't do, right? This is what God gifted them with. They're aesthetic. And it's not about just how light-skinned they are, girl. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Hell, Kwani is light-skinned. Has anybody ever come on here hollering about how beautiful Kwani is? No, girl. The eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, the mouth, the cheekbones, the goddamn hue of her skin, her ears, everything came together and said, this is a very attractive woman. Now, being attractive, it ain't, I mean, it's not everything, right? But do not let no, see, we create this colorism thing, right? Don't let nobody else, girl, you are making her, you say she's using her privilege because she's light skinned, right? I'm sure when she came on to do her video, she hadn't even considered what color she is, girl. You only make it important because you keep talking about it, girl. You keep letting them know that you're jealous of the color of her skin because it don't make no damn difference, girl. Black is black, honey. Black is black. They don't give a god. They won't be prejudiced against your ass. They don't give a fuck if you're light skin or dark skin, medium skin. You're black, right? But you make it an issue. You make her feel like she's got to defend her light skin now, which she probably wasn't even thinking about her light skin. She's had it on her body since her birth, right? But you make it important, people. Don't be pointing out, Miss. Okay, Brianna, you know, we ain't got no problem. I like you. You have a brilliant mind. That's where you need to have your focus on your brilliant mind, your personality, your ability to hold an audience, right? Those are also gifts, girl. But you know good and goddamn well that if you say a woman who weighs 110 pounds, you're not going to see that as her being privileged. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm not commenting on how much you weigh or anything like that, but of course you're going to see that as being privileged, girl. And the person ain't got nothing to do with it. They just dropped out their mama pussy, and that's what they got, right? So what I'm saying is this: are tall people, are they privileged over short people? I'm talking about very short people. Do you have privilege over them? I'll use myself. I'm old as fuck. Old, honey, like old Father Time. Now, as a young 22-year-old, 26-year-old man have privilege over me in certain areas, girl? Young, triceps, biceps, girl. You can jump on his head and flip his legs all over the damn place, girl. Everybody looking, the whole town's looking at him. Does he have privilege over me, girl? Don't worry about it. It's nothing going to change it, honey. Nothing's going to change it. It's just their attributes. Can we say that another person is beautiful? For me, that girl she's just a beautiful woman. Now, she don't even have all the long. Usually, y'all accuse them. Oh, you got that long hair. You got the long hair. You bragging. Her hair is a little bit longer than mine, right? She just happens to be an attractive woman, child. Why don't y'all celebrate that, child? Girl, I think the top model now, isn't that the girl? She's blue black. She is so dark skinned, and she's absolutely radiant, just gorgeous, honey. Yeah, any of y'all know that woman's name? That new model. I think she's an African woman, but she's very, very dark. She wears her hair almost this length. She don't need it. She's just beautiful. She's born that way, honey. Let me say hello to y'all. What's going on? What do y'all think? What do y'all think about this issue of this colorism? Do y'all think people make too much out of it? You know, other races, girl, have different colors in their races too, child. Y'all done brought all them white folks all around the world. You brought them to America and you labeled them white. Not us, but the people. American way. You all call them all white, but they're not the same colors. They're not the same colors. They don't have the same textures of hair or anything. First, because they're from different places, girl. An Italian person, we would say he is white, right? When he got to America, he became white. When he was in Europe, he was Italian, right? But his features are very different than an Anglo-Saxon or an Aryan person who is blonde with blue eyes. Not everybody's blonde and blue eyes. They have all different kinds of colors, girl, and different characteristics. But it's only us that has to make this issue out of the color of people's skin, honey. Damn. You can't be smart and be light skinned or dark skinned. Does anybody give a goddamn what color Kamala Harris is? I mean, she's accomplished something with her life. She's the vice president of the United States of America, child. It doesn't make no difference if she's light, medium, or dark. She's a black woman. That's the way we see it. For some reason, this country We don't like to call people biracial either. You got one drop of black in you, you're black and all that. Maybe that'll change someday. You can just be proud of both sides of your family or whatever. I'm biracial. So goddamn what, girl? Oh, let me see. Okay, where are we gonna pick up the chat? Let me see. Oh Lord, have mercy. They're right. Your uncle is terrible with his damn chats. Is it because he can't see? Nothing worse than a water leak. Ooh, yeah, they got their machines in there though. They're huge machines, and I guess they gotta dry for 4 days. Damn. Fortunately, I can go in there and wash my hind parts and use my sink. It's just real loud. You don't want to be in there too long, you know. Uncle Tim getting them coins. I ain't getting no coins, girl. I mean, brother Ken, they don't give me a whole lot of money, but I just don't think it's all that necessary. I mean, I get what I get from AdSense, and fine with me, honey. But this boy he got to turn this shit into a career now, because basically with Wilson, no matter what came out of his mouth, his primary income obviously was YouTube. Because if he's only working part-time because he was a temp. I don't know if they have temps that are full-time. He's part-time, right? So he's paying an agency because he's a temporary employee. So they're taking 20, 30%, right? You still got to pay taxes and all your deductions from your check. So he wasn't getting hardly shit. Girl, that knocked it down to, less than $20,000, child. He getting less than SSI, right? So now he's going to come on here and expect y'all to pay his bills. He doesn't find any. I'm going to try not to turn this into the Jay Wilson show again. What was I just talking about? He doesn't think there's anything strange about him bursting out begging for rent, his mortgage, and all his bills on an hour after he gets, I guess you call it fired, laid off, or something. They didn't put him on the schedule no more. He doesn't exist in that location. But immediately, I mean, you haven't even got a paycheck yet, right? How are you begging already, girl? You just did it an hour ago. Anyway, she took a day off. Let's see how long she make it. Do they require y'all have renters insurance? No, I should, because I was telling the people who work there, I said, ooh, honey, because believe it or not, there are pieces in here that I've collected over the last 20 years that are pretty expensive. So I've heard stories of people who they're in the same complex where the water come in through the living room. It just depends on where the water, because the kitchen's right there, right? And the pipes are over the ceiling. Come into their living room where the people had to actually replace a lot of their stuff. That would be a nightmare for me, honey. Girl, I'll be up here in the middle of the night catching water. Oh, not my Louis, not my Louis. So we're fortunate that it's contained to the bathroom. Those kind of issues are usually bathroom or in your kitchen. But if it came through the kitchen, I did have my garbage disposal start bursting out water at one point. I was afraid it's going to overflow, so I had to be dunking it as fast as it's coming in. But if you're not home or you don't recognize this water is running, it could ruin your whole goddamn floor. I got rugs on the floor. It's carpet underneath the rugs and all that. It would be a nightmare. So we're just grateful it's in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Let me see. No, we don't have to have no rent insurance. No. Mm-hmm. But now they will cover it. I don't got to pay anything for any of that stuff. The building covers all that. But as far as your personal stuff, the one guy that I know that's a neighbor of mine, who that water did come in and ruin it. The building bought him a new 65-inch television because the water came in behind the television and the television was playing. He wasn't in the room and it blew up. But I don't know. Things are things, honey. If you lose all your things, think of how much fun you're going to have. I used to love when I was decorating and collecting things and going around and trying to find deals and going to estate sales and all this shit. It was fun to do it. So think of it that way, honey. If you lose something, go buy something else. It can be a fun process. Yes, they are on. Yeah, they're on it real fast. Particularly anything they can do with water. Who was just talking about water coming in? Yeah, I was talking to the other guy who I know from the streets. He was complaining because the people came in his apartment when he wasn't there. I said, well, goddamn, if the water is running in the building and in your apartment, girl, I don't care what you advise them of. They're going to come in. They ain't got no choice. All that wood under there, girl. You imagine if you got rot in there or mold? No, immediately they're gonna get on that. This building here, if you told them you saw a cockroach anywhere, girl, they come in, they exterminate your apartment, the apartment next to you, both sides, up and down, because they don't want to get infested. And I gotta say, I've only seen one cockroach in this building in the almost 12 years I've been here. So that's a good thing about renting. Thank you, Pastor Gone Blonkers. The vac. There's the vacs are going, baby. I guess it's just, I mean, white noise. I don't pay attention to it, but it's loud. So that's where my baby usually has his food and stuff. I just bring it out to the hallway and, you know, we're okay. Today is Friday the 3rd. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Today's Friday the 13th. Girl, them ghouls and goblins is on their way. Baby. What will we experience on Friday the 13th? See, I'm a believer in God. I ain't believer in ghosts and goop and roots and shit. So long as I stay in my house, girl, I'll be fine. Let me see. Okay. As I look through the chat, though, you ladies, y'all are all different colors. We should be proud of that. Y'all all different colors. Some of y'all gorgeous. Some of y'all not. Some of y'all, after you're getting your makeup, you can make it gorgeous. You know what to do, how to work it, honey. There's all different colors, all different types, right? Thick, skinny, short, and tall. We need to stop beating up on each other so much, y'all. But I think that was just ridiculous to me to think that because she cried. Well, so what? Some people cry, honey. If they're sensitive people, they cry a little bit. She also got herself together and handled her business on that chat, from what I could tell, honey. Right? I know a lot of people cry. They're sensitive. Women are more sensitive than men. It's not unusual that they cry sometimes. You get a tear in your eye. Sometimes you need to fear that tear, because when they get so angry and so frustrated, then all hell about to break loose. I pity the motherfucker make me cry. Girl, you done did something now, nigga. I'm trying to get off the N word, girl. It's hard for me. When you've been doing something for 60 years, it is hard. Tommy ain't got no job. Let me see. Let me try to follow the chat here. He'll be back tonight. Miss Matt says he'll be back tonight. Yeah, he ain't gonna stay away very long, child. He gonna come back and try to get them for some more money. He has to realize, because that child. He's listening to every video I make, child, and many times he takes the advice. Girl, you just came over here and got them people for thousands of dollars an hour after you lost his bullshit job. Which, if he's just part time, I mean, that's why he was able to be on here so much. It's just a little part time gig, a little temporary thing, child. And he lied. He lied and made up his story that he had this big highfalutin career. But baby, don't start, please. Have mercy, loving kindness. Come here, Deanie. Oh, I got a toy. What you gonna do about the toy, boy? What you gonna do? Yeah. Where are we at? Here we go, says Queen of Hearts. Here we go. It's the Jay Wilson show. Crying has nothing to do with the skin tone. Crying has nothing to do with the skin tone. You could be a dark-skinned girl who cries sometimes, who is sensitive, or maybe they just cry. They just cry sometimes, girl. Ain't nothing wrong with crying. Shit. John Bonner, that was his name. He was always crying. Every time he opened his mouth, he was crying, child. Everything happened. And he's governing the goddamn Senate, right? Y'all remember that pastor? Who was that pastor's always crying? I think he's still crying. The one that got caught with his drawers down. That white dude. He cried at every sermon, child. Paul S. Morton is known for being teary-eyed. V is very attractive. Yes. Okay, she's an attractive woman. What's wrong with that? You can be a beautiful woman. Take pride. That's a black woman, right? Yes, we all different colors. Look at True Crime Bartender. Look how light True Crime Bartender is. Y'all all different kind of colors, child. If you had a... Let me see. I call my baby on a Saturday night. If you want to believe in equality, then two-step... Wrong or you're right. It's still my baby. It don't matter if you're black or white. I just ain't never. I don't even have all the issues with race. They say something wrong with me because I'm not a prejudiced or bigoted person. I think anybody can be beautiful. I think I've seen some gorgeous. San Francisco is 30% Asian, right? So I've seen a lot of beautiful Asian women. Ain't nothing to do with me. I've seen, well, of course, I'm gay, so I look at the boys. Them are some beautiful people, right? I've seen attractive Latin people, no matter if they're tall or short, honey. You can be any color and still be beautiful. And it got nothing to do with the color of your skin, honey. It's just one element. But when you're revealing hurt that you have inside of you, right? So you don't let nobody know that you feel like their color is superior to your color. That's what you're revealing to them. You're saying to them that since they have privilege because they cry, you're saying to them that you feel like they're privileged people because they have light skin, right? So I use the example of Kwani. I think it's a good person to use the example of, but I never heard nobody come over talking about how beautiful Kwani is. No, honey. People get jealous because the girl's beautiful. What's wrong with that? You can have all kind of attributes, right? If you're a brilliant scientist, girl, ain't nobody looking at your ass. We didn't come here for that, right? You have different kind of talents, girl. You be the best you can be and discover what your abilities and your special things are about you. I think God puts things in us, right? I'm amazed that I can write books. A person who has had dyslexia since birth, but I can sit down and when I'm writing, it comes pretty easy now. I had not even written a book from cover to cover, fiction, from cover to cover until I went to prison. That's how far removed I was from writing books. But I can do it. So it's just something inside of there, honey. Something he put inside of there. Don't think everything is just about your color, your thighs, and your hips and all. All that stuff is so shallow. And it's so fleeting. Because even though you're gorgeous now, y'all seen some of them old movie stars, honey? Them old actresses with all that makeup and all that shit in their cheeks and all that stuff, child. It's fleeting. You know, it's something you can do for a while. So enjoy yourself. You sitting over there, staring in her face. Why I feel like dancing, just dancing all over the place. Why do you worry about things that you can't control? Come on, girl, let's get it. Why the good little living is hot. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. Let's have some fun. Do y'all worry about when y'all watch basketball and y'all see these guys making these $100 million contracts and all that? Do y'all really care about what color he is? Who's the light one? Or who's the dark one? No, you care about his abilities, his talents. What's the guy, Seth? I don't watch sports, so it's the guy here, Seth. He's very light skinned. Anybody looking about how light he is, girl? You really think white folks care about how light he is or how dark he is? No, it's our shit. They care about your ability, your talents, honey. It's just very shallow. It's just so shallow. And it seems to be unique to us as people. I didn't even know, but Mexican people, they have light skinned Mexicans and very dark skinned Mexicans that look like us, right? I ain't never heard them come over here with all this shit. They have a word for light skinned Mexican people. It's called güero. I guess it's light skin. Sometimes you mix race and sometimes you just light skin, honey, because this shit jumps generations, whatever. Just a color. We're the only ones focusing on that kind of stuff. And it does seem to be a lot of it in the South still. Now, I'll say this. One of my sisters, the one who is darker skinned, I did tease her a lot when we were young because that's what a teenager does, honey. You tease your sister. I thought that was my job, girl. But she was all caught up in this light skin, this dark skin thing. And I think it was because my mother was very light, my sister was very light, right? I've always been medium. I had a different father, it didn't really make any difference. I didn't count. But she had an issue with that. The irony is, as adults, I'm darker than her. But as far as I know, she's the only one in the family ever had an issue with colors of people. Right. I might have contributed to that. I got a crush on V. Lenore. No, I just thought she's a pretty woman. I don't even know where I stand. I mean, is she like me or is she I don't know. I just said, look, she's striking. She's a striking woman, honey. If she was dark skinned, I say she was striking. I think Iman is striking. I mean, most of the big models, they all different colors. Most of them are dark. Because the model industry wants, dark-skinned people. I mean, they're going to be black. They want them to be really black. Honey, we can't hold it against the person because she's attractive. I think she'd be just as attractive if she was dark-skinned. We spend way too much time trying to drag people down about things that they can't control. Sitting there with your mouth poked out. It's odd the thought even entered her mind. I don't know what the hell that's all about, yeah. Apparently she got into it with the lady called Pizarro or something. They going back and forth, they're going to try to go low. But when you are criticizing other black people about the color of their skin, you're really criticizing yourself because we're all black. No, see, I'm not a person who's ever had to I got to prove that I'm black. I'll wear dashikis, whatever happened, brother, doing all in the hand. I don't have to do all that to know I'm black. It is a fact, honey. It is not an ambition or a dream. It just is. It's who you are, girl. Because of who you are, give him praise. Because of who you are, lift your hands and say, God, I worship you because of who you are. They always want to colorize Jesus, child. You people, they got to make everybody, whatever, girl, whatever. I got to watch my mouth. People get mad. What the hell difference does it make what color a spirit was thousands of years ago, child? Whatever. People, who they are, they're where they're at, honey. There is a lot of colorism in the Latin community. Afro-Latinos speak on this a lot. Afro-Latinos. So what are Afro-Latinos? That would be a mixed race person? I never heard of it. I mean, this is not new. If you go to New York City, every neighborhood is determined by the majority of the color in that neighborhood, the majority of that race in that neighborhood, Some people got a problem with people who are mixed race. What's wrong with that? Did God not create the Mexican and the Chinese? Can't they get together if they want to, child? This is the future, people. I don't know why we're resisting it. To me, it sounds silly. So we're trying to explain who you like, why you like them, and you gotta like the same thing. Girl, are you a citizen of the world, or are you just a citizen of your neighborhood? That's what it comes down to me. Just because somebody that don't mean you got to want to go to bed with them, girl. You can say, listen, that's a beautiful woman. I used to think that girl, what's that white girl? Demi Moore was beautiful. I said, she's a beautiful woman. She ain't beautiful no more. She done fell victim to all this plastic surgery, all this stuff, trying to hold on to a moment. Your beauty is fleeting, honey. Y'all lucky because y'all can go and fix y'all's up. A man, he just got what he got, honey. He won't put in blue contacts, he want to, but it's so much a man can do. But a woman, if she's skilled, can create an illusion. Afro-Latinos refers to someone who is with African roots, who has African roots. I ain't never heard the term Afro-Latino before. I've heard of, what do you call them? I don't know, by something. Blatino. Yeah, I've heard the word Blatino, which can be some very attractive. Some mixtures are very Latino people. So you're saying within their race, they have issues with each other based on the hue of their skin? Welcome to life. I've just never heard of it. Of course, I wouldn't hear about the Latino community because I'm not Latino. This neighborhood attaches to what they call the Mission, which is all Latin people. Yeah, I think Latino people would be such a small minority. I mean, they're both. They can choose, I guess, who they identify most with. A lot of times it depends on who you were raised by, right? If you were raised by a Black woman, then then it doesn't make a difference who your father was, right? If you were raised around Black people, if you were raised around your mother's family, then your characteristics are going to be Black, right? If you were raised around your Latin roots, then you're going to sound like a Latin person. I think that's pretty elementary. Yeah, I know some of the light-skinned Latins. My best friend, he passed away now at a young age. He was a light-skinned Latin person, but both his mother and father were both Latin. I mean, they were both from, yeah. I mean, he was born in America, like 3 generations in, but they both originated, their roots were Mexican. But he was very light-skinned. They call him a güero. But I don't know if being a güero is any bad thing, anything wrong with it. Just depends, honey. If you got anything else going on in your life, you won't be so shallow as to be worrying about people's color. But I don't think that a person they're weak. Are they saying that I think Brandon was saying she was a Karen because what? I mean, damn, she can't cry. If she want to cry, if she feels emotional, what's wrong with that? I mean, you're a woman. If he was dark skinned, we would call her weak. You're a weak bitch. You're a weak bitch. I said, girl, everybody's not from the low end, the low bottom, girl. And many times if they speak well and they're not as as hardcore, girl, it don't mean that their ancestors are any different than ours, girl. We're still Black. I ain't got to prove shit. Why ain't your pictures Black? You must have Black pictures, girl. Before the people were brought to this country and made slaves, girl, there was all this shit here, the represented, the kind of art I collect, girl. That shit was already there for 1,500 years, honey. It was never about race for me. Before I came on YouTube, I never even knew people would say something like that, girl. I mean, we're talking about biblical times. That's what art was in the Renaissance. I mean, I'm just amazed that it's so important to some people. I ain't got no judgment against it. You know, a lot of it. I love I had an apartment in Hollywood. It was all African. That's all I collected then, African masks and so forth. But that was a look. That was what I was doing at the time. It never occurred to me that this is all I can do, right? It never occurred to me that the only people I can make love with or have sex with or talk to had to be the same people who look like me in my neighborhood. Expand yourself, people. Right? They mean you got to be pumping on each other, girl. Just say, okay, it's a good looking person. It's a good looking woman. It's a more importantly, that's a talented woman, right? What do you do besides just look, girl? A boy. People are going to say, I mean, the biggest argument is, Timothy, you don't understand because you're not a dark-skinned person. I guess I'm gonna be like a medium complexion. You've never been either a light nor dark, so you don't understand the issue, right? I can just say from the outside, we're all black people. And I do think people get jealous of people. Look how they tore in that girl Kimmy. Kimmy was the flavor of the week 2 weeks ago, right? How was it, a month ago? Where's Miss Kimmy at? Child, they got all into the color of her skin and her blonde wigs and all this stuff, child. You know, it's always something. At my age, beauty is no longer fleeting. It's limping. Yours is limping too, Alfreda Gross. I don't care about that stuff, child. You know, I thought I was sexy when I was young. And I mean, I would love to be young again, girl. If I was only a child again, no one's ever been so good to me since then. People of the world, sticks and stones may break my bones. The objectivity, I guess, get songs in spurts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but young people have privilege over me, a whole lot more privilege. They have more, they're more ambition. They are physically stronger. They are more physically more attractive. There's a lot of attributes to being young. But as an older person, have you tried to sit down and have a conversation with somebody 22, 23 years old? You know, that time has passed, baby. It's a different world. I mean, I know you got children and all kinds of, I'm talking about just people, regular people on the street, girl. You ain't got that much in common. They look beautiful, but they still got to learn. They got a lot to learn. They got to live, honey. Mm-hmm. Get some of that experience that Medea talk about. All this experience. Where is Kimmy is the question. Kimmy, you got to hit them hard in the beginning, baby. You can't be just coming out here doing these drive-bys. Now we know they came hard at you, girl, but you gotta be tried and true. Don't disappear now. Don't disappear now. Colorism is an umbrella in which featureism and texturism fits under. Often when people speak about colorism, they're not simply speaking on complexion. Okay. They're not speaking on complexion. What are they speaking on? Some people feel like they have a better chance of getting a good job if they are lighter skinned. I don't believe that. I don't believe that because you're lighter. I know light skinned thugs, honey. Who are you as a person? You know. Now we're not talking about extreme cases or anything like that, but people feel like you're not passing. You're just light skinned, girl. To most people, it doesn't make a difference. Mm-hmm. Yes, there are some people who are prejudiced against darker skinned people, but they don't like you much more than they like them. If they're using the N-word, girl, that's what they're using. Who wants a mate that's so shallow? Baby, them titties gonna start dropping. You done chose your partner based on her breasts and her thighs and all that. She done went out there and had your babies. She done had 2 and 3 babies, child, and her body is not gonna be the same. Then she's getting older, you know, you only have babies, what, 35 or something like that, 40? But are you gonna throw away then? If it's based on something as shallow as that, girl. But I mean, everybody got a type, right? People have types. Now they say they don't have no type. Oh, I love everybody the same. Oh, you're just full of shit. Just tell the truth, girl. Everybody got type. Even if you stay within your own race, there are still characteristics that you will be attracted to, right? Some of these celebrities, you see them with their first wife. You know, they marry and divorce all the time and all that stuff, right? But you'll notice that a lot of their second wife looks a whole lot like their first wife and their third wife and their fourth wife. That's their type. They're attracted to light-skinned women. And it's okay to be attracted to light-skinned women, honey. There's enough around to go around for everybody. And then if a man, if he is physically attracted to dark-skinned women, you'll see that, oh, his first girlfriend was dark-skinned, his second girlfriend was dark-skinned, his wife is dark-skinned. That's what he likes. That is what he likes within his own race, right? A lot of men, they like thick, what they describe as thick women. Women, they got some shape on them, right? That's their type, honey. And when they go out, that's who they're looking at. Same thing with women, right? Some women don't want no scrub. They say a scrub is the guy that can't get nothing from them. Hanging at the passenger side of the best friend's ride, trying to holler at her. No. See, she basing things. She don't want no scrub, girl. And then you have those types that love the scrubs. They want a thug. They say, I said, girl, do you have any idea what you're asking for when you're asking for a thug, a real one? No, a real one is going to punch you in your face and take your purse, girl. So, but they like a certain look, all right? They're not offended by him sagging his pants down around his knees and all that kind of shit. They're attracted to that, girl. We all get to choose. I want me a thug. That's what that ZT always talk about, girl. She wants her. We all faggots, right? He said all the other gays are faggots. I can't stand them. Meanwhile, she's as gay as the best of them. And she only wants somebody who's not gay. Now, why would you want a person who is incapable of loving you? Mm-hmm. Incapable of it, child. You want something that is forever unattainable, and you think that's your type or whatever. I mean, it don't make any sense, girl. Right? Usually, what we call trade, those guys, they're in it for what they can get out of you, honey. Is that what you really want? Somebody wants you to buy them cell phones and all. Y'all remember that scene he had in there? He promised the guy the cell phone and then didn't buy it. Well, hell, an iPhone is $500 even then. And that's what you want? That turns him on, they say. Girl, you better off to get you one gay that look like a thug. Baby, I'm a thug. Yes, there are women who like that type, honey. They like the drug dealer types. Where y'all at? Project. I would never let nobody know, honey, I'm jealous of your skin color. You have made an issue that wasn't an issue. Right? Now she's in a position where she got to defend her color. Then you turn into a big old color thing amongst black people. That don't make no sense. Because when you think you're winning the argument, she's still gorgeous. So, I mean, whatever you say about her, it's not going to change anything, girl. She's still gorgeous and you're still who you are. You know, go ahead and do your thing. Mm-hmm. You got to have a personality connection first, right? Well, the physical will attract you first. That's your attraction. I don't know how much choice you have over that. It's just what you're drawn to. But yeah, you need a personality of somebody who can actually love you, make you feel good about yourself, honey. And you feel good about her. You have a partnership that's going to last. That physical stuff ain't going to last. He's going to trade your ass in the first chance he get. Because men, they stay pretty much the same for a lot longer than women do. So a lot of these people, even the rich ones, that's why they get this marriage. You got to have all these contracts where they get half. So it's not so easy to walk away. Because a lot of these motherfuckers would have a woman for 10, 15 years till she had the babies, and then they want to trade her in for a newer model. It's very common, girl. Extremely common. So if they put all these laws in place around marriage, oh, you mean if I divorce her, I got to leave her the house? Well, she's taking care of the kids, girl. What you gonna do about that? You gotta leave her the house and half of everything else. That make you think real hard about it, baby. You thinking real hard about walking away, baby. I don't think the gays have really got a good understanding of what marriage actually means, honey, when those relationships go sour. You've been making money all your life, and your partner has been really the house person. You are a partnership. You are in a contract with them, and when you decide to move on to something younger and cuter, you're gonna give them half of everything you got. Okay, Tabby Cat. I still don't think she did. Okay, I still don't see what she did that was wrong. She allowed a Thunderdome to take place. They always do it at damn StreamYard, and that's it. That's all. Okay. Well, I agree, Tabby Cat. She ain't did nothing to that boy. He already talking about, I knew it was a conspiracy. It was a plan. It was, how the fuck is it a conspiracy? That girl was on there for 2 fucking hours, girl, before you even arrived. And you the one that clicked on the link, girl. I mean, you asked to be on there, right? And so now, since somebody else came on there and cussed your punk ass out, girl, and then you're gonna blame the person who was the host. You arrived there uninvited, girl. And then you think she gonna take down her 2 and 3 hours of talking, girl, because of your ass, because you showed up on her channel? When does Jay Wilson take down anybody's channel, anybody's chat, or anybody's video because they don't want it seen? No, she's trying to cash in on everything. So far, she ain't put them goddamn the videos back up, but you might as well, Jay Wilson. Why are you keeping them down, Jay Wilson? Are you going to try to get another job, another assignment from that same company? I'm gonna give you some advice. Leave them damn people alone, honey. They done showed you. It wasn't just a ZX that called them people. You had, they say 200. I doubt it was 200, but you had a whole lot of people calling. They're saying, this is what we do, honey. We will do this to you. And what? You come on with your stinking ass mouth, girl, still talking about people like their lives don't mean anything. Why do you feel that you're supposed to be on here talking about other people's bankruptcies? I mean, what could be more personal than that? You ever talking about who's court case and who is behind in their taxes and who is behind it, who gonna get evicted and all this kind of shit, girl? That's all personal information. You have no right, Jay Wilson. You have to wonder, why do they hate me? You don't know how. You've never been in the street, girl. You don't know how. You don't really have a personality. Nobody's ever taught you. Are you jealous? That's your name. Colorism is a real thing that has hurt a lot of people. To use it as a talking point to avoid just saying you're jealous is irresponsible. Yeah, just don't say anything. Right? If you're jealous, just don't say anything. Why even make a point of it? Because you're only building a person up to think that they are better than you. Or that what you're telling them is that you feel like they are better than you. You feel like they have privilege. Oh, okay. Now that's me being a Karen. Do I have not control over my own eyes, girl? Am I not an equal citizen? If I can cry, if fuck I want to. What's it got to do what my color is, girl? How's that take advantage of my privilege? You just told that woman that she has privilege, right? That's because there's something going on inside of you, child. Don't people got enough with dealing with prejudice from other people? I mean, humans are what they are, girl. So it's always going to be prejudice around and so forth. But should you be wasting your energy on somebody because they're a couple of hues lighter than you? And I don't really believe that it's just because of her light skin, because they ain't had the same issue with Kwani. She damn near the same color, right? Let me ask you this question, and don't get pissed off, people. I'm going to ask you a question. Is colorism more prevalent in the South? I'm just asking a question. Please don't turn on me. I'm just asking a question. Is it more prevalent in the South? Because on the outside, it seems to be. I had a best friend, Roosevelt. We were in and out of prison. He was a crackhead on the street, and I was a meth head on the street. So we didn't really mix on the street kind of thing. But when we were in prison together, we were very close. And he was from the South. He was from Alabama, right? And whenever he mentioned a family member, he would say, my sister, she dark skinned. And you have to wonder, girl, what is the, is she your sister? I got to call my sister. She dark skinned. Now, he's from the deep South. He was a very country type guy. I loved him. Nice guy. But he had this thing about colorism, even within his family. He always describes people by what color they were, how light or dark they were. I guess in his mind, dark skin was worse. I suspect that he's been probably dogged out by his darker skinned relatives, right? Because it seemed to be kind of an obsession. So it can be a personal thing. Definitely is more prevalent in the South. Yeah, I don't mean that as an insult. I'm just trying to make an observation. In the South, and I think also in the West. Okay, I don't see a lot of it here in the city, but San Francisco's only, we got 6% Black. So if you, unless you're in I don't know that I would even experience the issues. This is a talking application, so we're talking on here, right? So I don't know how everybody feels. I can't speak on how everybody feels in a city, but it seems like it's more prevalent in the South. New Orleans. How you say Orleans? It was definitely prevalent there. Okay. Did you find J-Boss? I assume that you left New Orleans. Did you find it less? I don't know. I thought it was more prevalent in the South until I moved around. Okay. We're talking about colorism and not racism. I don't think the white folks give a damn how light you are, honey. I really don't. I don't think it makes any difference to them. If they want something so light, wouldn't they just stay with their own race? If light skin was their thing, right? For me, for instance, if I'm watching something that is, let's say, adult entertainment, I don't want them to look. If I'm looking at interracial sex, I don't want them to look like they're almost the same color. I don't want a real light person, with an Italian person, and you can hardly tell that they're different. If I want to see a Black person, then I think it's sexier to actually see a Black person. That's just me, right? Yeah, and light is not always best. You know how much money the white people spend on tanning themselves and tanning beds. You had an orange president, all to get the skin darker. I don't think a lot of northern people really care. Now, where is northern? Let me see. I'm in Northern California. So Seattle, that would be northern. Yeah, southern. Eastern would be big city. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's always been around, I guess. But I was never even aware of it when I was growing up. Never meant shit to me. There was a few light-skinned boys in the day, baby. Back in the day. But did it make a difference? No, I think I still like, even when I was dating Black guys, I still preferred them to be Black guys. I didn't want them to look like they're white guys or they look like Italian or something. Okay, Tim, when white people tan, they want to look light-skinned, not dark-skinned. Well, I think they want to be somewhat not dark like us. But yeah, they want to be, I think they want to be dark-skinned, darker than they are. If they're very light, you have to realize how fair some people are. I mean, when they're fair, when they're Aryan, or some of them really are white. Sometimes you look at it and their skin is damn near the same color as the sheet, honey, white, right? And then a big part of them are not that color at all. They're more brown skin, and they tan to be brown skin. They lay out on the beach to be brown, a browner hue, where they don't want to be translucent, in other words. But if you have red hair and freckles, you're very, very light. And a lot of times it's not good. And unfortunately, a lot of them people who would prefer to be a little darker or have more pigment in their skin, they can't go out in the sun because they get skin cancer, right? So they have to rely on makeup and so forth. Now it's different for men and women, you know. Some people like that red hair and freckles and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have a whole wait a minute. You have a whole side of your family in New Orleans that passes for white. You guys had the French, right? In New Orleans. What are the ladies called in New Orleans? They are Creole. Now, what is Creole, J Boss? J Boss like them black as tar. The blacker the better. Oh, the sweeter the juice. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Right? But you have a right to like whatever you like, baby. Everybody likes something. But in New Orleans, I believe they have Creole people who I believe aren't they French and black? I don't know. You guys know more than I do. Yes, French. Okay. A lot of Creole people over there. A family with West African, Arab, French, Spanish, Native American, but mostly West African. Okay. Darker the flesh, better the roots. Mm-hmm. I done seen some fine people in all hues, honey. And they're not always light skinned. That's not always the prevalent thing for me. There are other features, right? But like the people say, you know, you don't experience it because you're neither one or the other, you know. But if you're dark skinned, that means you can't be educated and you can't have abilities. You can't rap. You can't sing. You can't play basketball. You can do all the shit that anybody else can do, and you'll be judged on the content of your character and your skills, your talents, not just about what color you are, child. Hopefully, most people don't care. But yes, there are people who prefer a light skinned person, and I think it's fine. My mama was a light skinned woman. I don't think she ever made a point of it though. I never experienced that. Y'all had to tell me about all this race stuff, Chad. I said, I got enough burdens in my life not to be burdened with that. Creole is black and French. Okay. Yeah, they can be pretty, but they're definitely mixed race. What was that girl, Jasmine Gay, or whatever her name is, in that, was it Living Single? She said Creole. She said with pride, Creole. She had freckles across the bridge of her nose, honey. Mm-mm. Okay, well, New Life is a little more educated than we are here. And she's telling the truth. She said it all began in slavery. Darker skin in fields, lighter in house. Okay. Now, believe it or not, I was not aware of that. Darker skin in the field. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know. I mean, we were all slaves, but I never made the connection that if you were lighter skin, that's why you were in the house. I didn't know that. I thought they used some people inside, some people outside. I didn't know it made a difference. Most of us were darker skinned then, until the slaves and the whatever. Whatever. It's all God's world, honey. God gave us dominion over the earth. And if he wants, it's amazing how we all do so different races from different places, though. They say starting in the continent of Africa, people got more melanin in their skin, but I say, well, damn. Does that change the color of your skin depending on what region you're from? What about all these other races? And they all have different characteristics in it. Mm-hmm. My father was so handsome. I was like, oh my, okay. J Ball said, my grandfather was so handsome. I was like, oh my God. And his sisters, and his mama, oh, she mighty good looking. You're her little baby. And it's all in you. Ooh, fish are jumping. No, that song called Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping so high. You're an old man. Yes, have pride in who you are, J Boss. He was so handsome. Mhm. Sharona said, I am darker skinned. My life has been fine. No jealousy here. Mm-mm. Why would you be jealous, child? Lighter stayed in the house because they were mostly children of slave owner. Ooh, all right. Let me repeat that. Connie Bernard says Lighter stayed in the house because they were mostly children of slave owner. Okay. I guess that would make sense. He would have affection for those people. I don't know about being in the house he's still a slave. But it had to happen, right? Or we all still be dark skinned. Generally, black men are colorists during youth, and some carry it over to adulthood. Okay. Well, yeah, well, young people, they say anything. Yep, and they get jealous of the light skin. But if you talk to a light skinned brother on the street, if they came from the same environment, they both from the projects, there ain't no difference. Racism and slavery is, well, that is the burden of America, honey. Slavery, the great sin. And yet we're here. Okay, being this is for MF, what the MF is going on. Yamein, being in the house made you a privileged class in the sense that they didn't receive the harshest parts of enslavement. Okay. Right. So if they're driving people like animals and horses on the land, yeah, they probably got a lot treated a lot worse. The people in the house, they endured slavery. They're certainly hurt. I'm sure they talked about them and around them like they weren't there, But I don't know. I don't know. It's just horrible. I can't even watch slave movies. I can't. I've tried and tried and tried. They had I was trying to watch the last one I tried to watch, and just I don't know if it was a scene or what. The Butler, which the movie was made famous by Oprah Winfrey and Lee Daniels. But the Butler, the opening scene is they have these slaves, and then this white, I guess he's the master, takes this black woman into the barn and has sex with her, then comes out, and her husband is out. We had to have common law husbands. Her husband comes out, and he don't hardly say anything. He just fucked my wife. And so when the husband said something to the master, no, it ain't right, or something like that, the man shot and killed him. I said, I can't watch this shit. This is too extreme abuse. I can't deal with this. I can't watch a lot of abusive stuff. Now, in contrast, I can watch gangster movies, but even with them, I got to fast forward when they start torturing each other and such. We have the dominant genes. Mm-hmm. No, I'm proud to be a black person, honey. I'm extremely proud. I ain't never had an issue with it. I had never had no issue with it, child. You are what you are. What you think about it, that's up to you. But it ain't gonna change nothing, girl. It ain't gonna change shit. You still who you are. So you take pride in who you are, because that's what God made you. God made me. He made me who I am. I love the spirituality of being a black person. That part there, I've always loved that part. And we all have some concept of God, and worship, I think, is one of the most beautiful things in the world. So a lot of things to take pride in. Hey, take pride in being the best athletes in the world. Mm-hmm. You totally run the entertainment industry as far as the talent goes. You know, yeah, they could deal without that scene, as far as I'm concerned, honey. If you're talking about him being a butler in the White House, I don't know why he had to start there, but it totally turned me off. I don't like to see people abused. I mean, we know it happened. That don't mean it's entertainment for me. Mm-hmm. If we're the dominant Jabbar in New York is asking Connie, if it is the dominant, where does the black community have light? Why does the black community have light skin? You're still a dominant gene. That don't mean anything, honey. Look at Barack Obama. He got a white mama, white grandmama, grandpappy, and he's still black, right? So just a drop is what they say. Now I wouldn't even know that Obama was mixed race if they didn't tell me. You could be any color. If they didn't tell us he was mixed race, I would never have guessed it. Just like another black guy to me. And he ran and won as a black man. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we just want to open up conversation, people. Be proud of whoever you are. And if you are beautiful, you're just beautiful, honey. That's the issue. That's why they mad at that woman. Don't be mad at her. Leave her alone. Because she's gorgeous. Say, you know what, baby, you're gorgeous. Or you know what, brother, you sure can't fix them cars. Damn, where you learn that at? Right? It's just another thing to be. I really don't believe that it's just because of what color you are, though. I don't believe that. All right, darlings. Thanks for coming in. Let me go into my bathroom or check on them later.